Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start special interview today. Just hold on a second. Countdown initiating in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Let me just focus here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Fabio Marques with another one, Fabulous with Fabio, the talk show that shows how fabulous we can be when we reach our destiny, when we try our best, and we really learn every day. I'm wearing this special shirt today, Fabulous Motivation Simplified, because we're going to talk about inspirational, motivational. Wesley Morris is here with us today. Say hello, Wesley.
Outstanding. Hello.
Yeah, be ready. Be ready. This guy is on fire. We're going to talk about how to turn around your life. Are you ready to reach your destiny? This is his question. Are you ready to reach your destiny?
Yes.
You can turn around. You can solve any problem in your life if you're really determined to do so. This is Fabio Marques 007, our YouTube channel, Fabio Marques 007. This is Fabulous with Fabio Talk Show. You can also listen to this interview later in our podcast, Powerful Insights for Business. And of course, underneath this video, you're going to see all the ways to contact Westley Morris right after this interview. If you're watching this right now live, pay attention. A lot of golden nuggets you're going to get from this. And if you're watching this later, pay attention again and take notes of how to get in contact with this special, fabulous human being. Wesley, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being with us today.
It's my honor. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you so much for that introduction. I'm excited. You're a fabulous individual. We're going to have a great time.
Yes, sure, my friend. Listen, let's start by covering how did you become so fabulous? So tell us a little bit about your story, the struggles you went through and how you became this incredible human being, entrepreneur, leader, professional speaker that you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. My story starts out, I was supposed to be a farm boy. So my family still owns a 365-acre working farm in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. I come from an area where work ethic is more important than actual intelligence, meaning how much you can get work in a 24-hour period is a little more important than what you bring home on your report card. It's an area filled with honest, integrous, hardworking people that I love and adore to this day. One of my earliest memories on the farm was my grandfather was an incredible horse trainer. And at 6 years old, he takes me by the hand and he says, "Come on with me." Takes me out to the barn. And he was going to train this young horse, this wild horse. And he takes a handful of corn and he puts it in his pocket. And he pulls it out and he goes, and he makes a sound with his mouth. And he gets that young horse to come eat right out of his hand. And he looks down at me at 6 years old and he says, "Wessie, all relationships move at the speed of trust. All relationships move at the speed of trust. Not necessarily just the relationship between two people, but can you trust yourself to do what you said that you were going to do?"
That's good.
And for so many years, I couldn't trust myself. I had lost trust in myself to uphold the promises that I've said that I was going to do. So I was born into poverty. My mom and my dad, they lived in a one-room cabin and they shot animals to survive. And I say that to say that the vibrational frequency that you're exposed to between 0 and 7 years old plays a huge part in who you become later on in life. And I was exposed to lack and limitation, a scarcity mindset, and a lot of aggression and anxiety. And that dictated who I became later on in life. So at 9 months old, my mother, she left my dad and she brought us to something called the Lehigh Valley. But essentially, it was the closest thing to the city that she had ever seen. 24 years old, no job skills, no life skills, just a scared little girl with a broken heart that was determined to survive with two little kids. She brought us to the Lehigh Valley and she began to work. And She saved up $2,348 and she bought a building. She opened up her own business. She put the walls in, she put the plumbing in, she did the electrical. She was an American entrepreneur. She was my hero. Then, Fabio, my whole life changed when I was 12 years old. I'm 12 years old and I thought I had a normal life. I played football, baseball, wrestling. We had a puppy dog. And my whole life changed when I was 12. I come home from wrestling practice and the state police detectives have my whole house surrounded.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. So the first lesson I wanted to emphasize here is that you have to trust yourself first in order to be successful, because this was really good. But even knowing this and learning this, of course, you were having like a difficult life, but then suddenly your mother, your hero, decided to change things, and she left with you and your brother, right?
Me and my sister. Yep, sister.
Your sister, and went closest to the city as she could, and she started as an entrepreneur trying to change your lives around, right? To improve your lives.
Yep.
And everything was looking fine until suddenly at 12, you had another surprise. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yep. That's exactly right.
So you arrive at home and you have what, police cars surrounding your home?
Yeah, I had police cars surrounding my house, and the lights lit up the street. It looked like something you see in the movies.
Oh my God.
And I'm standing on the sidewalk. I'm scared. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. And I see my heart, my everything, my mom get carried out in handcuffs like this.
What happened?
I still didn't know what was going on. And then the next day I found out that my mom was being arrested for running a prostitutional enterprise out of her massage therapy business.
Oh my God.
And I was crushed. I was crushed. How could you do this to me? Why would you do this? The resentment and the anger that filled. Plus, nobody sat me down and helped me give that event in my life a meaning. So I was left up to my own devices and my own thinking to develop a meaning as a result of something that I had no control over. And the meaning that I gave it was, I'm the bad kid and she doesn't love me. That's the meaning that I came up with. And I spiraled down. You know, we will never outperform our self-image. I love this book by Maxwell Maltz called Psycho-Cybernetics. We will never outperform our self-image. I developed a self-image about myself as a result of that issue and many others. And the results in my life reflected it. Let me show you. 15 years old, I get my first DUI. 16 years old, my sister had turned her house into a drug house. There was people smoking crack in the kitchen, people having sex in my bedroom. And one day I come home and I'm looking for my sister and I can't find her, Fabio. And I knock on the bathroom door. No response. So I kick open the door. Boom. And there's my sister. She was blue in the face. She was unresponsive. And she had overdosed on fentanyl.
Oh my God. And
I say that to say that life is so precious. Life is so precious. And I took advantage of it for so long. By the time I was 19 years old, I had 3 DUIs and 7 underage drinking charges. I lost my license for 22 years. And never once did I think, could it be me? It was my mom's fault. It was the police fault. It was everyone else's fault but mine, why I get these results in my life. So I got a great idea. I'm going to move to Philadelphia. You can go anywhere in the world. You're going to take you with you. So you can make a geographical.
Say that again, man. Say that again.
You can go anywhere in the world, but you're going to take you with you.
And this is so critical. So many people blame their past, their parents, their teachers, their situations. And that's why they never get better, because they don't trust in their own capacity to take responsibility and change things around.
That's right. That's right. And I did that for so long. I did it for so long. You know, I never wanted to take accountability for myself. It was easier to play the blame game because then I could justify and rationalize my terrible results in my life.
I see.
So I moved to Philadelphia only to take me with me. And, you know, long story short, I get hurt at work. I get prescribed prescription pain medication. 30 days later, I was fully addicted. 90 days after that, I ended up being a homeless heroin addict in North Philadelphia in one of the largest open air drug markets in the world. I lost the girl, the car, the job, and I was reduced to standing in the middle of the street selling bottles of water for $1 a piece. I was 50 pounds less than I am right now. I was malnourished. I was dehydrated, and I had abscesses up and down my arms. I had to defecate on the public sidewalk. I couldn't see it then, but I could see it now. When I was at the lowest of my low, selling bottles of water in the middle of the street, that was a culmination of all the decisions that I've made throughout my entire life. Your life is a sum total of all the decisions that we make, the people that we surround ourselves with, and the information that we allow to penetrate our conscious mind. And one day, I had made it back home, and my mom walked in on me about to inject poison into myself, and the pain in her eyes was more than I could handle. And I dropped to my knees and I prayed like I've never prayed before in my life. And it was the most humble prayer, and it was, please God, help me. Over and over and over again. See, human beings, I found out that we have the ability to discern. My dog can't be anything but a dog, but human beings, God has given me the ability to make a choice. That's to think. So if you don't like your decisions, you're simply just one decision away from a completely different life. And I made a decision, a real decision, that I was going to cut off any and every other opportunity except for I'm going to be successful. There was no other option. I had to burn the boats. And that's exactly what I did. And I set out on a journey of personal development and personal transformation. The next year, last year, I was 50 pounds less than I am right now, selling bottles of water in the middle of the street. The next year, I got a job. I'm making $80,000 a year. I got the car, the girl, the apartment. I had all the materialistic things that I thought were supposed to make me happy at 28 years old. But I'm ready to put a bullet in my brain. How could this be? How could I have everything that I thought that I wanted, but I'm so miserable? And like Tony Robbins says, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. You can never fix a spiritual void with a physical thing. I don't care how big it is. So I did the craziest thing at the time. I walked away from the security of working for somebody else. I told the girl that I have to go. I told the landlord I have to go. And I sold my car after driving without a license for 9.5 years. And I started riding a bicycle. And it felt like my whole life was falling apart, Fabio. All I had were 2 bags of clothes and my prayers. And when you feel like it's all falling apart, how do you know it's not all coming together? So here I am riding a bicycle. I'm 30 years old. I'm riding a bicycle. And my head is telling me, bro, look at you. You're 30 years old. Last year you were making all this money. Now you're riding a bicycle. They are laughing at you. Look at you. Honestly, to this day, I don't know who they are. There's never been a they. The they is in my mind, in between 6 inches between my ears, that keeps me from my dreams. So I'm riding a bicycle. I'm walking dogs for $10 a day. And I hear this voice, and it says, go help your mom. Go help my mom. You got to understand, I was a 6 foot tall ironworker welder, big ego, pride and ego, blue collar. You want me to go be a massage therapist? Now, in America, that, you know,
because at that time your mom was running a massage therapist business, right? Because she got out of jail and she was running a legit massage therapist business at that time.
Well, it's a funny story about that. In 1997, my mother gets arrested for one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen anybody go through. She stayed in the same business underneath the same name and changed her ways and started doing legitimate massage therapy, right? While in a small town that everybody made fun of her. And she said, I'm going to show my kids that you can fall down and you can get back up, right? 3 years later, the year 2000, I go check on my mom. Mom, how was your day? Wes, I want you to meet somebody. I look to my left, and there's Donovan McNabb, the head quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, walking down the hall. My mom went on to be the head massage therapist for the Philadelphia Eagles from 2000 to 2012 because she never fought. She never ran. She stayed and she fought. So 20 years later, when I heard the message that said, go help your mom, on a bicycle, I rode 8.5 miles every single day with no business degree. I could barely read and I didn't know anything about business. But when your why is greater than your how, you'll go to the ends of the earth to figure it out. And that's exactly what I did. So I'm building the business. I didn't set out to grow the business because I wanted to see numbers on a screen. I was set out to build the business because this was my family name. It had so much more to do with my family name and make sure that nobody ever talked badly about her ever again.
I understand. So it's based on pure love, which is one of the strongest feelings ever, right? The strongest whys you can have to do something meaningful out of love. Like that, man.
Love is an incredibly powerful emotion. Incredibly powerful emotion. So, I just showed up every day. I changed my thinking. I started waking up earlier. The very first thing I would say is thank you. When you first wake up in the morning, your subconscious mind is operating at 10.5 wavelengths per second. That is when your mind is most susceptible to new information. I had to reprogram myself. I was programmed for lack and limitation and failure and self-loathing. I had to reprogram for success and abundance and hope. And I did that every morning, every single morning. I would listen to speakers like yourself who were fabulous. And this incredible thing happened. A paradigm shift happened. I began to believe what you guys were saying. I began to believe that it was possible for me. And I just showed up every day. And I used the law of horizon, which says you go as far as you can see, and then you can see a little bit more. And that's exactly what I did. That business grew 1,000% in 4.5 years.
1,000% in 4.5 years with mainly two things that you were using at that moment, right? Gratitude and belief. This is super powerful. And I tell everybody every day this, you must be grateful first and believe in your capacity to do better every day. If you join those two, gratitude and belief, you can do almost anything. And you are a living proof of that. Thank you for sharing, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I had to surrender knowing how. I really had to surrender that because I did not know how. The same way that the Wright brothers didn't know how to fly a plane. And nor did they know how to land it. But here we are flying today. So as I grew, the business grew. And, one night, it's 9 o'clock at night. Me and my mom, we're power struggling. Because I want to go this way and she wants to hold on to here. And it was just, it was rough. We're both tired. It's 9 o'clock at night. She's locking up the door. I'm getting onto my bicycle. And I look at the front of the building, Fabio, and it's painted. It's got new facade, new canvas, new signage. It's beautiful. It's all lit up. And I look at the building and we really can't stand each other right now. And I said, hey, lady, nice freaking building. And she stops. She looks up at the building. She looks back at me. And she said, my son did that. And in that moment, I realized that I wasn't pulled from the gutter just for me. It was never about me. It's always to reach back and help someone else.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bigger meaning. So I'm a big believer to be of service to others. I get an opportunity to go do chair massage as a promotional piece for the local track and field team, where I donate all the proceeds to the local track and field team. And during that event, this woman comes into my tent and gets on my chair, and I put my hands on her. Now, I put my hands on thousands of people, and she
Mm-hmm.
was fabulous. She was special, but I didn't know who she was. So I do a little Google search, and I find out her name's Joetta Clark. She's a 4-time Olympic athlete. She has a daughter named Talitha Diggs, who's a world champion. I'm on an Olympic class team. So I literally went from selling bottles of water in the middle of the street, losing my license for 22 years, to going to the Olympics. I'm literally going to the Olympics August 1st in Paris, France.
Wow.
That's the power of changing your self-image. That's the power of belief and gratitude.
And a
It's
life of
amazing.
service and adding value to other people's lives. This is key, my friend.
Yes. What if I would have said, what's in it for me? One decision. One
Well,
decision.
yeah, I mean, we know, the true success and fulfillment comes from serving others and adding value to their lives. And
Yes.
there's no greater personal satisfaction than this, than knowing that you are useful, that you made a difference, that you had an impact, that you changed a life with your service. So this is key. So gratitude, believe, trust yourself, trust your ability, and dedicate your life to serve others, to add value to others, and to make a difference. This is beautiful, my friend. And you deserve every piece of reward, mainly because you're not expecting it. You are serving with your entire heart, with the sincere desire to make a difference. And that's why you're getting all this rewards from life, because you deserve it, each and every one of them.
Mm. Mm.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So this is amazing. I hope everybody watching is realizing what's going on here, right? So we are looking at someone who really, touched the bottom and went through several different types of struggles, but was somehow still able to listen to this inner voice, the positive inner voice, because we have so many negative inner voices, right? But you were able to listen to this positive inner voice, and you did something to help your mom, to help the community, to help people, and you are collecting all those victories in life, but still you remain humble enough to keep learning, keep growing, and understanding there's still a lot journey to go. So this is amazing. I hope everybody watching is realizing the power of gratitude, belief, right? True desire to help, to be of service. And now I want to, if you can, please share with us your vision for the future. How do you see yourself impacting, lives in the future? I don't know. What is your plan? What are you doing right now to even have a greater impact in more and more lives?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And to answer that, I have to tell one more story
Go ahead.
because it has to do with how I'm going to impact lives. So we grew the business to maximum capacity. We could not fit another therapist or client in that building. And one night, 6 o'clock at night, that same voice, which I choose to call the voice of God, says, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You never ran. You did what I told you to do. You did it on a bicycle and you became a better person as a result. Now I want you to give it back. Give it back." I've never tasted success before. There's never been anything synonymous with success and Westley Morris ever before in my life, not that I can recall. You want me to give it back? You want me to, but I just built this, God. Give it all back. I got something else for you to do. So I handed over a $500,000 a year business back to my mom like that. Here you go. And my prayers were kind of like, okay, what do you want me to do? You know, I can't sit, God. I meditate every morning. I will not speak to you unless I get into the right state of mind. So I'm sitting in that chair right back there, and I'm meditating, and I get a vision. And my prayers were kind of like, God, I want to be the best in the world. I want to inspire millions of people, God. Help me. Okay. Show me you're willing to do whatever it takes, Wes. There's a nonprofit in South Carolina called Fire Pit Ranch. The mission of the nonprofit is they mentor young boys that grow up without fathers. Some of these kids seen the most horrific things that I've ever heard of. God says, I want you to ride your bicycle to South Carolina to go speak to 200 kids that don't have dads. And when you get down there, I want you to tell them that they're enough. So October 1st, I left and I rode my bicycle 479 miles to South Carolina to raise awareness for this organization. Took 9 days. It was 52,000 in elevation change. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And when I get back, it took me 3 days to process what I had just accomplished. And 3 o'clock in the morning, day 3 of processing, I get woken up in the middle of the night. And it was one of those wake you up like, you need to go write this down right now. And God gave me a message to share with the world. See, I didn't realize, but that bicycle I was riding is a metaphor for a successful and meaningful life. Follow this.
Pay attention, guys. Pay attention. That comes something good. I can feel it. So you are realizing that your bicycle is much more than just a vehicle. It's something. Okay, everybody watching, pay attention now. This got to be good. Tell us, please. Tell us.
So I'm looking at the bicycle, and I realize it's a way to create a successful and meaningful life. The first thing you have is the handlebars. Those are our decisions. Our decisions create our destiny. 1 degree to the left or to the right of my handlebars, I'm ending up in a completely different destination. One decision away from a completely different life. Make good decisions. The next is the frame of the bicycle. That's my mental and physical well-being.
Step by step, my friend, step by step. This is so precious. We have to really help people take notes here. Decisions make our destinations. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Your
We can be only one decision away from a better life if we want to, right?
Yes.
We cannot go through life just going through the moves. We have to decide what do we want, right? And make a decision to go into the direction we really want to go. This is so good, so good. So decisions make our destiny. Great.
Yeah.
Oh, handlebars. All right. What else?
The frame of the bicycle, right?
Yeah.
The frame of the bicycle makes everything else work on the bicycle. That's my mental and physical well-being, my mental and physical health. One crack in my bike frame, nothing else works. One crack in my bike frame, I'm on the side of the road watching everybody else pedal through life. So you got to take good care of your mental and physical health, right?
It's the frame that unites everything, that holds everything together. Great.
Yep, absolutely. The next is the pedals. Those are our desires. The stronger the vibrational frequency of my desires, the more power I put to my pedals and the further that I go in life. What do you want? What do you really want? And it has to be a burning desire. The next is the chain. That's my daily actions. And if you look
Mm,
at the chain, it has to be in alignment with your pedals, right? So you
yeah.
can have desires, but if your daily actions aren't in alignment, you're not going anywhere, right? It's like me saying that I want to be healthy and less weight or financially free, but my daily actions aren't in alignment. I'm not going to get to my destination, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
next is the gears, right? Successful people I found know how to switch gears at the appropriate time. The
All
gear
right.
that I'm in with my family should not be the gear that I'm in with my career or with my faith, right? You have to know how to switch gears at the appropriate time. And you should have the foresight to see what's coming down the road of life so you can get in the appropriate gear and maximize your efforts, right? The gear that I'm
Maximize.
in when I'm grinding uphill is not the gear that I'm in when I'm coasting down. So you got to know how to switch gears
That's why so many people waste energy and get frustrated because they are in the wrong gear
at the wrong time.
at the wrong time. Beautiful. So we have the handles, decisions make our destinies. We have the frame, our mental and physical health, holding everything together, making everything work. We have the pedals, which is our true desire, our why,
Yeah.
right? What we really want. But then we have to, our chain has to be in complete alignment. So what we want can get the traction it needs to move forward. And then we have the gears to wisely choose what is the best gear to each appropriate situation so we don't waste energy and we have maximum performance in each and every situation.
Yep. Yep.
This is beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Any
The
other
next,
piece of the bike that I'm missing here?
hold on. I got more. I got more. I got more. I'm looking at the wheel.
The wheel, yeah.
The wheel, right? The wheel
Yes.
has spokes. At any given time, all my weight was resting on one spoke. And in life, you're going to have to rely on a handful of people. That's your
You're right.
support system. So make sure you have a good, strong support system around you because you may have to rely on them. The
Let
next
me
is the
just hold it for a second because this is a question I get a lot from people in my motivational speeches as well, in my coaching programs. How, Fabio, how do I make sure I surround myself with a good support system if many, many times the most toxic people I know are in my family, are
aha.
with me every single day? How can I move them away from me? How can I avoid them? You know, many people have this, this tragedy in their lives. They have many, many negative people, toxic people around them in their family. I faced this kind of situation myself, Fabio. I have been there, so I know how difficult it is. Of course, I have my methods of doing this, but I want you to share how do you do this? How you make sure you have the support system and you avoid the negativity all around us?
Yeah. The first thing is boundaries. And look, I have family members that are toxic people as well.
Hmm.
Now, boundaries we always think are set for other people. I'm talking about the boundaries for myself. And the boundary is I will not allow you to dictate my mental space
Mhm.
or my emotional space. I just it's a boundary. And if you cross that boundary, then I have to let you know. Okay? So set boundaries not for the other people, but for yourself. What are you going to allow? Okay? Um Number 2 is you almost have to put a number on people in terms of their level of awareness.
Mm.
Okay.
Mhm.
If a person is a number 3 in regards to their level of awareness, then you can only have conversations that are at a level 3 with them. Water's wet, the sun is warm, whether right, and because that's the level of awareness that they're at, and you cannot expect them to have conversations or to interact with you at a higher level than what they're at.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
That's just where they're at, right? And then number 3, if necessary, cut them off completely.
Yeah, this is powerful, and I would like to highlight a few points here because most people they come up with this question, right? How am I supposed to surround myself with positive people? No support system if my family members are negative, and what you're saying is so useful. So it's not about controlling them; it's about controlling you, right?
Right.
It's about setting boundaries for uh, how much influence are you willing yourself to take from these people, right? So you don't have to correct them, you don't have to fix them, you just have to protect yourself and your thoughts and feelings from their interference. So you decide how much you allow them to impact you, to affect you negatively. This is super, super, super useful. And the second point as well, so don't try to convert people. They're not ready, right?
Right.
If they're not self-aware enough, don't waste your time trying to preach to them, trying to prove to them that you are right and they're wrong. It's a waste of time. Realize at what level they are and only have conversations at that level so you don't stress yourself and waste your energy. So I really like that, man. And of course, the third step, if necessary, sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes there's no other way. You got to make another decision, right? And it might be a very hard decision, a very tough decision, a very difficult decision. It may have a very strong impact in everybody, but you need to make that decision if you want to move on with your life and be a positive influence to others that we will meet in the future, right? So I really like what you're sharing. Thank you so much. So this is about the will and the support system. We want to take the responsibility. I want to create my support system, and I'm going to do whatever it takes with serenity, with intelligence. I will nurture this support system I need to keep going. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Perfect.
Two points to add to that. What did Gandhi say? He didn't say change the world. He said be the change that you want to see in the world. And the hardest part about personal development and going to the next level is realizing that not everybody can go with you or is willing to go with you. That's the hardest part. So the next part of the bicycle that I'm looking at is the tires, right? The front one's filled with inspiration. The back one's filled with motivation. Now, on that 500-mile ride, I had to check and fill up my tires daily. And the reason why is because if you ever try to ride a bicycle on flat tires, boy, it makes it so hard to do. Right? So you have to find
damage your wheels. You can damage the bike if you insist on it.
And I got to find something that inspires me and motivates me on a daily basis, because I've lived a life where I wasn't uninspired and I was unmotivated. And boy, it made life so hard to go through. So find something that inspires and motivates you on a daily basis.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. And just to make very clear to people watching, inspiration is about inspiring thoughts and feelings that will help you picture your future, right? And motivations are motives to action. Things that you don't want again in your life, they're motives to take different actions. Things that you want to repeat in your life, they're motives to take the same action so you get them again. So motives are related to the past. Inspiration is related to the future. So you have both forces moving you forward.
That's right. That's so good. So good.
Beautiful.
The next that I became aware of was the seat of the bicycle. You're going to have to support yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There may come a time where you're the only person that believes in the vision that's been pressed into your awareness. You're going to have to support yourself. There may come a time where you're the only person that believes in what you believe in. You're going to have to support. How are you doing that? How are you speaking to yourself? You're going to have to support yourself. I can't expect my wife to do it. I can't expect other people to do it. I'm going to have to support my dreams.
Yeah.
500 miles, you better bring some bottles of water, right?
Mhm.
Something to replenish you. What's in your water bottles? Is it filled with anger and resentment and distrust? Or is it filled with hope and love and optimism? What are you drinking out of your water bowls bottles that's replenishing yourself?
And of course, this is a metaphor for, what kind of books you're reading, what kind of people you're talking to, what kind of,
Yes.
right? Are you constantly and feeding yourself with good stuff so you have enough energy to keep going, to keep moving, even
Absolutely.
when you're all by yourself in a lonely road, riding your bike with nobody else to talk to,
Yeah.
or just beautiful, man. So
Second,
don't depend on anybody. Be self-sufficient in that sense. That of course we need a support system, as you were explaining in the will, but we need to be able, because many times you're gonna feel alone, right? You need to be able to support yourself and to feed yourself even in those moments. So you have no excuse. You keep moving forward because this is your destiny, and you have made a decision. The first element, right? You have made a decision to win.
that's right. That's right. The next thing that I became aware of on the bicycle is, you know, there was a light on my bicycle. And
Mm,
the reason why is because on the 500 miles going through North Carolina, I had to go through tunnels in the mountains, right? So the first tunnel I went into, um, I'm in the middle of the tunnel and it got really dark and I got scared. So I go to turn my light on, but it wasn't charged up.
mm.
So I was very fearful. And I get to the next tunnel and I had the presence of mind to wave down a car and say, "Hey, can I go in front of you because my light's not charged up?" And they illuminated the way and it was a lot less fearful, right? The point is that sometimes we're going to go through dark tunnels of life. It's going to get scary. Make sure that your light's charged up, but if not, you can borrow someone else's to illuminate the way, but make sure that you're doing something to feed your spirit, to let your light shine bright in those dark moments. Lastly is the breaks. Everything in the universe is subject to the law of rhythm. The sun goes up and the sun comes back down. The tide goes out, the tide comes in. Sometimes you're grinding uphill, and sometimes you got momentum and you're coasting down. Everything is subject to the law of rhythm. On those downhills, make sure that you use your brakes. Slow down, take in the views, and enjoy the ride. We get so fixated on getting to the destination that we completely miss the entire journey. And life is so beautiful at 8 miles an hour. Keep pedaling.
Say that again. Life is so beautiful at 8 miles an hour. Man, this is so beautiful. Enjoy the journey, not only the destination. I remember when I was, training for my Pan American Championship in Taekwondo, and I was talking to my master. My master is like 10 times world champion in the masters category, right? And 20
What's his
times
name? What's his name?
is senior Sergio Plens is the American Taekwondo Association Master Plens. I'm sorry, it's Ricardo Plens, Senior Ricardo Plens.
Okay.
And he told me that the secret to so many victories is that he never thinks about the championship day. He thinks about everyday practice. He enjoys every kick, every movement, every day of practice. He enjoys practicing. He enjoys the process. He enjoys the journey, as you're saying. If we enjoy the journey, we learn how to appreciate the journey. Every second feels like a victory. Every
Yeah.
second feels like you're moving forward. And every mistake sounds like a lesson. And you enjoyed that lesson and you grow from it. So it's precisely what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You have all these elements to be successful. And this analogy with the bike is amazing, man. But at the same time, we have to enjoy every single thing you're talking about, and every inch of our progress. So we are happy now, not only when we reach the destination, right? We can be happy every single day. We can be positive every single day if we learn how to enjoy the journey and everything that goes with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I completely agree. So that is what I'm getting ready to share with the world. That is what I'm working on. That is the book. That is the program. That is the talk. That is everything.
Man, just do me a favor now. I'm sure right now everybody's taking notes, going back. This is one great thing, that this is going to be forever in my YouTube channel, Fabio Marques 007, because people can go back. And of course, you can put that in your website so people can go back and they can listen to you again. They can take notes. And of course, I'm sure people will want you in their organizations to share more stories and more insightful lessons with their teams or whatever. But now I wanted to share with us, considering everything that you told us, what would be the first 1, 2, or 3 steps people should take to really start changing their lives and heading a better direction? No, I don't know. Try to summarize in 1, 2, or 3 first steps for people to take today or tomorrow that would make a difference in their lives.
Yeah. The first thing that comes to my awareness is, when you're at the mall and you're trying to find somewhere to go, right? So you go to the middle of the mall and there's that big kiosk, right? And it's got a map, right? Now we're trying to go to the Apple store. Okay. So knowing where the Apple store is doesn't help us. What's the first thing we got to do?
Where you are.
That's exactly right. We can't figure out how to get to where we want to go until we find out you are here. So define the facts of your life, right? Not the truths, the facts. When I was at the lowest of my low, the facts were that I was addicted to drugs, that I lost my license, that, all XYZ, these were all the facts of my life. The truth was that I was capable of things way beyond my wildest dreams. Don't live in your facts, live in your truths, but define your facts. So define where you're at, then define where you want to go. Okay, Apple store, right? Then we create a map of how to get there.
So simple and so powerful, ladies and gentlemen. It's simple, but so many people try to reach a destination without first determining where they are, right? Without investing some time and money in self-discovery, self-awareness, self-development. We need to know where we are. It's the very first point of every trip, every travel, every journey. So where are you right now in your life? Look at the facts. Face the facts with courage.
Yes.
And then assess your truths. What are you able to do with your life if you really want to? And then you start drawing the map to get where you want to go. And hop on your bike. Learn from Westley. Hop on your bike with all the elements that your bike must have. And it's guaranteed that you're going to have a much, much better life from now on. Beautiful, man. Please share with us your website. And of course, I'm going to put everything underneath the video, your website, your LinkedIn profile, so people can get in touch with you. But share with us your website right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me at my name. So it's Westley Morris with a T, WESTLEY Morris.com. Real simple. That analogy that I just shared with everyone, I've developed that into a program where I take you through each aspect of the bike, through your decisions, your support group, your desires, and we go through and we create a strategy for that using the components of the bike. I'm on YouTube with my name, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the above. Yeah.
Perfect. So we're going to put here in the video all the links to every place you can find Westley Morris. And I really recommend you to check it out. Many people just watch interviews and they say, oh, that's super interesting. Yeah, that's good. If you don't take serious action, nothing will really change. All right. So if you believe Westley is the man to help you, go look for him, go work with him, do something for your life. All right. Because nothing will change just because you have some new knowledge now. You need to know how to implement that knowledge, how to keep inspired, motivated, and keep moving into the right direction. So no matter what you do, you guys watching us right here, right now, you're never going to have fabulous motivation just because you learned something new today. You need to take action to change your life. So I want again to thank Westley Morris for being with us today. He is truly fabulous with Fabio here today. And you can watch this in Fabio Marques 007. You can also go to fabulouswithfabio.com, fabulouswithfabio.com, to find a link to all the interviews and also to see if you qualify to be my next guest. So once again, Westley, thank you so much. It's been awesome. I really loved your metaphor with the bike, and I love your story. And I really admire and respect you for everything that you've been through, how you were able to transform all that into precious lessons to change your life and now to be an inspiration to millions of other lives. Thank you so much. Your final statement, my friend, say what you want to say.
Your future potential has nothing to do with your current results. If you were to take a look at my current results 12 years ago, there's no way I'm on this podcast. Your future potential has nothing to do with what you can see, taste, touch, or feel right now. They're just results, and results are simply meant to be improved upon.
Beautiful.
Thank you, and I love you.
I love you too, Westley. I love you all, my dear audience. Take care of yourself, take action, and change your lives. Bye now. Thank you so much. See you soon.